Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to do exercise 1A from book 3. Um, for that, let me start with the basic level question, and question number 1 is the first of all. Question number 1. Okay. Question number 1, it states that you need to solve each of the following equations. Uh, you are very well aware that what are equations. If you are not, then please watch the journal video for quadratic equations and other equations. Anyways, let's move on to this lesson. The A part states that before starting even with the A part, I would like to mention the three methods that we can apply on quadratic equations, which are uh, in detail explained in the other videos. The three methods for quadratic equations. The first one is factorization. The second is completing the square. And the third one is quadratic formula. So for the few questions I'm gonna apply for factorization in exercise 1A, and for a few questions where it is very much necessary to apply completing the square, I'm gonna do with that method. Quadratic formula we are gonna do in the next exercise. So question number 1, it's the A part, and the A part is 2x square plus 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. I'm going to do this question with the help of factorization. And how are we going to do that? Please be a little focused over here. It's very important. First of all, you are going to multiply the coefficient of x square, this one, with the last number in your equation. So what does it gives you? 2 multiplied by minus 7, it gives you minus 14. So what is the purpose of minus 14? Just hold on. And the coefficient with x is plus 5. So what are you going to do now? You are going to choose two such numbers such that they multiply and give you minus 14, and those same very numbers, if you add or subtract them, you get a plus 5. And the easier method of doing is to factorize this 14, the product of the first and the last coefficient. It is going to be 2, 7, 7 and 1. So these two are the numbers 2 and 7, which makes it 14 by subtracting. Now let me just replace them over here. It is going to be 2x square. Factorization with the help of midterm breaking methods. So midterm breaking, as from the word it is clear, middle term break. We need to break the middle term, and the middle term in this specific question is plus 5x. So we are gonna break it down into two pieces. So 2x square, it is going to come down as it is. So instead of plus 5x, I am going to write the two factors that I have just chosen. The two factors over here are 7 and 2. I need to write them in such a manner that if I I should be getting plus 5 out of it. So plus 7x minus 2x in place of these two, in place of the middle term, and the last term is going to come as it is. Remember, plus 7 and minus 2, they are going to give me minus 14, and plus 7 minus 2, it is also going to give me plus 5 in the middle. So this is the first step that I have done. The second step is going to take the common from the first two and another common from the last two. The common, there is nothing common except x in the first two. So it is going to be x bracket 2x plus 7. And remember one thing, whatever is there, whatever sign is there with the third term, you are going to put it with your, you are going to take it out as common. So the sign with the third term over here in this question is minus. So we are going to take minus, and since there is nothing common between the third and the fourth term, so I am just going to write minus 1 as common, since there is nothing as common. So inside the bracket I am going to write down 2x plus 7 is equal to 0. Now factorization means to take out common. Since this bracket has been written over here, same bracket is written twice, I am going to write it once, and in the other bracket I am going to write x minus 1. You can very well see that these two things are being multiplied over here. So, and they're giving you a 0. So, if the two numbers are being multiplied and the answer is 0, what is the possibility that what is happening between the two numbers? Yes, it is very much obvious that the two numbers, either from the two numbers, one of the number is 0 because the product is 0. So since we are not familiar with this, that which one of these two might be 0, so we can put both of these brackets equal to 0. So we are going to get one answer from this equation. Like terms on one side, this plus 7 is being added over here, it will go to the other side, it will get subtract, and we are going to get x is equal to minus 7 over 2. And same the case over there, x is equal to plus 1. So these are the two values of the equation part A. Now let's do the part B. B part is 4x square minus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now again, let's try to figure out if the factorization middle term breaking is possible or not. Again, we are going to do 4 multiply by minus 6, we get minus 24. So we need to find two such factors that we multiply and we get 24, and the other is minus 5. So we need to, those same two factors should be such that they add or subtract to give you a negative 5. Let's figure it out if it's possible or not. It's 24. We are going to do the factorization of this, prime factorization of this 24 to ensure that on the left hand side you are supposed to have prime factors only for prime factorization. 2, 2, 6, 2, 3 and 3. Now these are the numbers. You need to make such arrangement of these numbers in such a manner that they give you a plus 5 as well. Let's just figure it out if it's possible or not. Let me make these three upper two and this 3 as a single. So 2 multiply by 2 multiply by 2, they gave me a 8 from the first one, and I just wrote 3 separately. Yes, 8 and 3, these two numbers, if I multiply them, they are going to give me 24, And if I subtract these two numbers 8 and 3, they are going to give me minus 5 as well. But remember that one of these two numbers are going to have a negative sign, because if we are multiplying, we need to get a negative 24. So out of these two numbers, which one will have a negative sign? The bigger one, because we need to, if we add these two numbers, still there has to be a negative 5. So that is only possible if the greater of these two numbers have a negative sign, because if the two signs are different, we subtract the two numbers and sign always come that of the greater value, and the greater value is 8. So what are we supposed to do? Just 4x square will come down as it is. Instead of the middle term, we are going to write these two factors, which are minus 8x plus 3x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now we'll just take things common, from the first two and the last two. First two mein, what is the maximum common that you can take out? That is 4 and x. So inside you are going to write x minus 2. And remember that whatever is the sign with the third term, you are going to write it outside this bracket. And what is there common between the third and the last term? That is 3. And inside you are going to write x minus 2. Since the two brackets are common, you are going to write it once, x minus 2, and 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. As just I told you in the above part, that how can we get a 0 by multiplying two brackets? Obviously one of them is going to be 0. So we will put both the two brackets equal to 0 like this. So if we simplify these two brackets, we are going to get the values of x. 4x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 3 by 4. So these are the two values of x for this specific equation. Question number part C. It's 7x. It is written as 7x plus x square minus 18 is equal to 0. You are first of all going to arrange this equation in the form of a quadratic in such that the first term should be a squared, then simple x, and then the simple number. So if I write it down, it is going to be x square plus 7x minus 18 is equal to 0. Now the next step is to multiply first and the last number. So if I multiply 1 with 18, it is minus 18, so it is going to give me minus 18, and the middle term is plus 7. So I need to find out such two factors, two numbers. If we multiply the two numbers, they are going to give me 18 minus 18, and addition or subtraction of those two same numbers are going to give me plus 7. So an easier method again is to do the prime factorization of 18. So 18's prime factorization is going to be 2, 9 and 3, 3 and 1. So if I just make pair of these, look over here, let me just make pair of 3 and 3. 3 multiplied by 3 gives me 9, and the other two as it is. So yes, 9 and 2, if I multiply these two numbers, they are going to give me 18, but I need negative 18. Okay? So negative 18 and positive 7 at the same side. So 9 minus 2 makes it plus 9, minus 2 makes it plus 7. So the number in multiplication will also have 9 will be positive and the 2 will be negative. Then it will give me a minus 18. So let me write it here. The first term will come down as it is. For instead of the second term, middle term break, I am going to write it as plus 9x minus 2x minus 18 will come as it is equal to 0. All I have done is just replaced the factors with the middle term. That is why it is known as midterm breaking. So now let's take common of the two. X is common between the first two. It is going to become x plus 9. And I told you in the above two parts as well that whatever is there the sign with the third term, you are going to take it out like this. And if there is anything common, there since there is the 2 is common between the two terms, it is going to be minus 2. And inside the bracket, what are you going to write? X plus 9 is equal to 0, because minus is there outside, and if you multiply positive inside, then you are only going to get a negative. Since the two brackets are repeating themselves, so it is going to become x plus 9 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now we'll put both the two brackets equal to 0. The reason is as explained above, and it is going to be x, the value of x can be minus 9 and the value of x can be plus 2. These are the two values of x that satisfy this equation. Now let's move on to the next part, part D. Part D states 4 minus 3x minus x square is equal to 0. Now first of all, let's arrange our equation in a quadratic form so such that the square term is the first, then the x, the variable simple x, linear term, and then the variable, then the simple number. It is going to become x square minus 3x plus 4 equal to 0. Now what I can do is we can take minus 1 as common. So the equation becomes a little more simpler. This minus is being multiplied, it will go there and get divided, and 0 divided by any number is going to give you 0. So we can write this equation as x square plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, because 0 divided by minus 1 is definitely going to give you a 0. So if I multiply 1 with minus 4, I get minus 4, and the middle term is plus 3. So I need to find such two numbers so that they multiply and give me minus 4, and if I add them or subtract them, they give me a plus 3. Let me do the prime factorization of 4, 2, 2, 2 and 1. So let me make these two as the pair 4, 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 2, 4, and but I need to have a negative 4. So one of these numbers have, and this is one pair, and the other pair can be 1, simple 1. So if I multiply 4 with 1, it is going to give me plus 4, but I need to have a negative 4. So one of these numbers is supposed to be my negative, but I'll decide it with the other one. 4 and 1, if I subtract plus 4 and minus 1, I am going to get plus 3. So the negative sign is with minus 1. So instead of this middle term, I am going to write x square will come as it is. So instead of this middle term, I am going to write plus 4x minus 1x minus 4 is equal to 0. So let's take common between the first two terms. The x is common, and x plus 4. For the next two, there is nothing common, but the sign will always come of the third term. So यहाँ पर you are going to write minus 1 bracket open, and then x plus 4 is equal to 0. The brackets are repeating themselves. You are going to write them once, and the rest of the terms in the other bracket equal to 0. So you will write two equations from here. X minus 1 is equal to 0. We will get two values of x from here, that they are x is equal to minus 4 and x is equal to plus 1. Now let's move on to the next part, that is part E. X bracket 3x minus 1 is equal to 2. Now, first of all, we will make this a quadratic equation, and then we are going to do either the prime factorization to find midterm breaking, or completing the square or quadratic formula. So 3x square, you just simply need to multiply this bracket, this x, with both the two terms that are inside. So 3x square minus x is equal to 2. For making it an equation, for to solve, you need to make this side equal to 0. So you need to go take this 2 to the other side. It is going to become 3x square minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. Multiply the first coefficient with the last coefficient. It is going to become 3 multiplied by minus 2 and minus 6, and minus 1 is with x. So you multiply the two numbers, you should get minus 6, and if you add or subtract the two terms, you are going to get minus 1. So let me do the prime factorization. Again, the prime factorization is 2 and 3. So I need to find such two numbers that I multiply them and I get 6, and if I add or subtract, I get minus 1. So 3 multiplied by 2 is definitely going to give me 6, but I need to have a negative 6. So I'll figure that out with the negative sign. So the bigger number out of these 3 and 2 will have a negative sign. Minus 3 plus 2 gives me minus 1. So yes, the two terms are minus 3 multiplied by plus 2 is equal to minus 6. So instead of the middle term, I am going to write minus 3 and plus 2. The remaining things are to be written as it is. So now the common part, there is 3x common between the first two terms. So x minus 1, and for the sign will come that of the third term, and that is going to be plus, and there is 2 common, you are going to write it as x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now the bracket that are common is x minus 1. In the remaining bracket, you are going to write down the rest of the terms. So this is the equation. So x minus 1 is equal to 0, the next step, and 3x plus 2 is going to be the next other linear equation. X is equal to plus 1 and 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. From here we can have the value of x as minus 2 by 3. So the two values of x from this equation are by 3 minus 2 by 3. Let's do the f part and the last part for this question. This is x. No, it's the f part. It is 7 minus 3x, and in the other bracket it is x plus 2 is equal to 4. We are first of all going to expand the bracket so that it is a quadratic equation, so that it can be simplified. So for that, what you are going to do, you are going to give chances for everything with everyone to multiply. So 7 is going to multiply with both the two terms in the other bracket. So it is going to give you 7x plus 14, and same is the case for the 3 as well. You are going to give chances to the 3 to multiply with both the two terms. It is going to give you minus 3x square minus 6x is equal to 4. Now first of all, arrange them in the order as well as in terms of the like terms. So it is going to become minus 3x square plus 7x minus 6x plus 14, and you can bring this plus 4 onto the other side as well, so it can get subtracted is equal to 0. So it is going to become minus 3x square plus 1x plus 10 is equal to 0. It is similar to the question that we just did above. So we are going to take minus 1 as common. It is going to become 3x square minus 1x minus 10 is equal to 0. Since the minus is negative, the negative sign is common outside, so that negative sign is to be multiplied with some other sign so that it gives you a plus sign. So same signs are always going to give you a plus sign. So minus 1 is going to go to the other side, it will get divided. So it will become minus 3x square plus minus 1x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now again prime factorization, 3 is going to multiply it with minus 10, and if we multiply 3 with minus 10, it is going to give us minus 30. So we need to find such two numbers which we multiply, they give us minus 30, and if we add the two numbers, they give us, add or subtract the two numbers, they give us negative 1. So let's figure that out. 30, the factorization of prime factorization of 30 is 2, 15, 3, 5, 5 and 1. So let's make the pairs as 2 and 3, one pair, and 5 is the other pair. So if I multiply 6 and 5, it is definitely going to give me 30, but I need a negative 30. So what are we going to do? Negative 6 plus 5, it is going to give us minus 1. So the negative sign is supposed to be with the minus, with the 6. So the remaining things are going to be written as it is. So with just the middle term is going to break. It is going to be minus 6x plus 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. So we are going to take common. So 3 is common between the first two terms, as well as x is common. So x minus 2, and the sign will come of the third term over here, as well as 5 is common. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. So the same brackets are to be written once, and the remaining terms in the other bracket, they are going to give us x minus 2 is equal to 0 and 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2 and 3x is equal to minus 5, collecting the like terms on one side, and then further simplifying, the value of x is going to be minus 5 by 3 and the other value of x is going to be plus 2. So this was the end of question number 1. We are going to move on to question number 2 after that. It's written in question number 2 that you can give your answer, giving your answer correct to two decimal places. So you can definitely use the calculator over here. In the previous question, calculator wasn't necessary, but in this question you can use the calculator. Still you need to solve. Solve means that you need to find the value of x. Find the value for x, and you need to write in two decimal places. Now a part, it is x plus 1 whole square is equal to 9. Now since we need to find out the value of x, what we can do, and x is being grabbed with the bracket and the square is on top of it. So what are we going to do? We are going to take square root on both sides. So taking the square root on both sides, we are going to left with x plus 1. And remember one thing, whenever you take the square root of a number, that is going to give you two possible solutions. One is in the one positive, and the same very number is going to be negative. So plus 3 and minus 3 is the square root of 9. So let's move ahead, simplify it, and find out the value of x. So 3 minus 1, it is going to give you plus 2, and x is equal to minus 3 minus 1, and x is equal to minus 4. So these are the two values of x which are going to satisfy the above given equation. Now let's move on to the b part. Let's say it in this specific part, calculator wasn't specifically being used because the square root of 9 should be very much there in your head. So, but we are going to use calculators in this part, in this question. Let's do the b part, and the b part is x 2x square 2x plus 1 whole square is equal to 16. Again, the same step, taking square root on both sides. Let me write it here. Taking square root on both sides. So if I take square root of this side, it is the square will finish, and I'm going to get with x plus 2x plus 1 is equal to, and if I take the square root of 16, I'm going to get two possible values. One is going to be 4 plus 4, and the same is going to be there but with a negative sign, minus 4. So the value, if we simplify this, we are going to get 2x is equal to 3, and the value of x is going to be 3 by 2. I'm going to simplify the other side as well. So it is going to give me minus 5, and x is equal to minus 5 by 2. Let's move on to the c part. It is 5x minus 4 whole square, it is equal to 81. So again, the square root on both sides, I'm not mentioning it again. So square root on both sides, we will be getting x minus 4 is equal to plus 9, and 5x minus 4 is equal to minus 9, because the square root of 81 is 9. So 5x minus 4, no, we are going to just collect the like 9 plus 4. So 5x is equal to 13, and we will be having the value of x from here as 13 by 5. We are going to simplify this side as well. 5x is equal to minus 9 plus 4. So we'll have minus 5 as the simplification of that side. So minus 5 divided by 5 will have minus 1. So these are the two values of x that satisfy this above equation. For the part D, for the D part, it's 7 minus 3x whole square. Try not to use the calculator until and unless it's very necessary for you to use. Try to improve your mental maths while doing these questions. So again, we are going to take the square root on both sides. So it is going to become 7 minus 3x is equal to plus 3 by 4. We are going to take the square root of the entire fraction, numerator as well as denominator. It is again, the square root is going to give you two possible answers. 7 minus 3x is equal to minus 3 by 4. Now we are going to collect the like terms. It is going to become minus 3x is equal to 3 over 4 minus 7, and minus 3x is equal to minus 3 over 4 minus 7. Since this side is also a fraction, you are going to make the denominator same, because in addition and subtraction of fractions, the denominators should be same for simplification. So this is going to become 3 minus 28 divided by 4 and is equal to minus 3x, and on the other side it is also going to be minus 3 minus 28 divided by 4. Now if I simplify this side, it is going to give me minus 25 by 4 is equal to minus 3x, and this side is going to give me minus 31 over 4, because same signs are going to add the two numbers and different signs are going to subtract. So to find out the value of x, this minus 3 is going to go there and get divided, and since there is already something in the denominator, so it is going to go there and get multiplied with that denominator, and same is the case here. Minus 31 over 4 multiplied by minus 3. So if I simplify it, it is going to give you minus 25 by minus 12, and this side it is going to be minus 31 by minus 12. Minus and minus, they can be simplified since they are in the numerator as well as denominator. So the values of x are going to be 25 by 12 and 31 by 12. These are the two possible solutions of this part. Let's move on to the next part, E part, and in this part onwards we will be requiring a calculator for use, and that is x plus 3 whole square is equal to 11. So again the step is very much the same, taking square root, but since we are not very much familiar with the square root of 11, so we are going to find it using a calculator, and the value is going to be plus 3.3166. On the same other side as well, we are going to get two possible solutions, one positive and the other as negative. So negative 3.3166. So the value of x is going to be 3.3166 minus 3 and minus 3.3166 minus 3. So if we simplify these two values, we are going to have 0.3166, and the value of x is going to be minus 6.3166. But the answer has to be in two decimal places. So what does two decimal places means? That there should be only two numbers after the decimals. So this means that your answer should be here till 1. So this 6 is going to round this number off, and it is going to round it off ahead, so we will have 0.32, and same is the case over here, minus 6.32. This is the second decimal place, and 6 is going to round this 1 to one step ahead. Let's move on to the F part of this question. In the F part, it's written 2x minus 3 whole square is equal to 23. So again, square root on both sides. So if we take the square root of this side, it is going to give you 2x minus 3, and the square root of 23 is going to give you 4.7958 positive, and same will be the answer for in the negative as well, because square root gives you two possible answers, positive and negative. So we are going to simplify it further, collect the like terms on same ends. 7958 plus 3, and 2x is equal to minus 4.7958 plus 3, and 2x is equal to 7.7958, and this is going to be minus 1.7958. The value of x is going to be 7.958 divided by 2 and minus 1.7958 divided by 2. So by using the calculator, 7.7958 divided by 2, it is going to give you 3.38 sorry 3.8979. We are going to round it off in the next step, and 1.7958 divided by 2, it is going to give you as minus 0.8979. So rounding it off to the two decimal places, this is the second decimal place, it is going to round it off to this one, and it is going to round out the further one. So it is going to be 3.90, the value of x, and this value of x is going to be 0.90. So these are going to be the two values of x from here. Let's move ahead. Now the next part is the g part, and the g part is 5 minus x whole square is equal to 7. Again, taking the square root on both sides, we are going to have 5 minus x is equal to 2.6457, and the same is going to be there with a negative sign, and 2.6457. Collecting the like terms on one side, we are going to have 2.6457 minus 5, and minus x is equal to minus 2.6457 minus 5. So minus x is equal to minus 2.3542, and from this side minus 2.6457 minus 5, it is going to be minus 7.6457. For simplifying, the negative will go to the other side, it will get divided. The value of x is going to be minus 2. I'm rounding it off in this step, so minus 2.35, because it cannot, the next number cannot round off. So negative and negative is going to make this as a positive. So this is the value of x, and the other value of x is going to be positive again because of the negative and negative being divided. So 7.65, because this 5 is going to round off this one, since we are supposed to write the answer in two decimal places. So h part, and that is 1 over 2 minus x whole square is equal to 10. So this is going to give us taking square root, we are going to have 1 over 2 minus x is equal to square root of 10, that is 3.1622, and again this side minus 3.1622, and minus 1 minus x is equal to 3.1622 minus 0.5. 1 over 2 means 0.5. Since we are going to use the calculator over here, so 3.1622 plus 0.5. Oh, yes, 0.5 is going to add here. 0.5 is going to subtract here. So So we'll have the value um, as minus x is equal to minus plus 2.6622, and the value of x from here is going to be minus 2.66. The other value of x is going to be um, 3.622, 3.1622 minus 0.5. It is going to give you minus x is equal to minus 3.6622, and after simplification it is going to give you plus 3.66 up to 2 decimal places. Let's move on to the next question now, and that is going to be a little different from this one now. And how are we going to do that? It's question number 3, and that's part A. We are going to write the question in the form, the final answer in the form of x plus a whole square plus b. This is a very important with respect to the exam point of view as well of Cambridge. So this method requires completing the square form. Completing the square form. So I'll tell you how to apply the completing the square form as well here. For starting it from the a part, x square plus 12x. First of all, what are you going to look at? That the coefficient of step 1. Step 1 is coefficient of x square should have 1, since it's already 1 over here, otherwise we would have made it 1. The step number 2 is to find out step 2 is to find half of x coefficient. Whatever is there with the coefficient of x, you need to find the half of it. Since the coefficient of x is 12, so we are going to half of it, and it is going to give us plus 6. So what are we supposed to do this with this plus 6? We are going to add the square. Yeah, look over here, and we are going to subtract the square. What is the purpose of adding and subtracting? The first 3 portions of this are going to give you an identity. The 3 identities that you have studied in the previous books, and for this specific part, the identity is identity number 1, and that is x plus 6 whole square minus 36. Now if you could look at the above form and this final answer, you can very well correlate that the both answers look exactly the same. For the B part, it is x square minus 6x plus 1. You are going to do the same steps again over here, and let's do them here. They are going to give us x square. Since the coefficient, step number 1 has already been done, the coefficient of x should have value of 1. It already have 1. Let's move on to step 1, already done. And step number 2, coefficient of x should be half. So the coefficient of x is 6, and we are going to half of it, and that is 3. So we are going to add the square, as well as we are going to subtract the square of the halved value, so that we can make an identity for the first 3. So it is going to become the second identity over here, x minus 3 whole square. The remaining terms are going to be simplified, minus 9 plus 1. So x minus 3 whole square minus 8. So this is the form that they were requiring from us in the question. This is very important with respect to the exam of Cambridge. We usually get a 2-mark question there. The C part is x square plus 3x minus 2 So step 1 already done. Step 2. Step 2 is we are going to half of the coefficient of x, that is 3 by 2. So it's better if you use it in the fractional form because we might not get to use the calculator in P1. Okay? So 3 by 3x. So half of it is 3 by 2 x whole square minus 3 by 2 whole square minus 2 as it is. So we are going to simplify it, the first three terms. They are making an identity, the first identity, x plus 3 by 2 whole square minus 9 by 4 minus 2. So if we simplify these two, they are going to give us x plus 3 by 2 whole square. So for making the adding or subtracting the two fractions, you need to make the denominator same. So making the denominator same, minus 9 and minus 8, they are going to give you 17. So D part from here. So the D part is x square minus plus 9x minus 1. So if we simplify it again, x square plus 9x. Step number 2, as step number 1 is already done. So half of 9 is 9 by 2. So we are going to add and subtract the half of 9, half of it. So this is it. This is an identity. The first three terms are making an identity over here. So it is going to be x plus 9 over 2, the first identity. And the remaining is going to be minus 81 over 4 minus 1. So if we simplify, it is going to give us, we are going to simplify and make the denominator same. So 81, not 81, 85 over 4 by making the denominator same and then simplifying it further. So E part, x square plus 1 over 2 x. So again the same step 1 is already done. So step 2, we are going to add the half. Look over here, very important point. Step half of this thing, half of 1 over 2. So for finding the half, either you can divide it by 2 or you can multiply it with 1 over 2. So it is going to be 1 over 4. So you are going to add the square of 1 over 4 and you are going to subtract the square of 1 over 4. So first three terms are again making as the identity, and the identity in this case is x plus 1 over 4 whole square, and the next is 1 over 16. So F part from here, x square minus 2 over 9x. So again step 1 is done. Step 2 is half of the coefficient of x, and for finding the half of the coefficient we need to either divide it or we need to multiply it with 1 over 2. So if we multiply it with 1 over 2, we are going to have 1 over 9. So we'll be adding the square of 1 over 9, and we are also going to subtract the square of 1 over 9. So first three terms are making an identity, and they are making an identity as x plus 1 over, yes, negative, it's the second identity, so negative 1 over 9 whole square plus minus 1 over 81. So this is the F part. Then becomes the G part, the second last for this exercise, x square plus 0.2x. Again, we are going to add the half of it. So it is going to become x square plus 0.2x plus half of 0.2 is 0.1 whole square negative 0.1 whole square. So the first three terms are making an identity over here. So x plus 0.1 whole square and negative of 0.1 whole square. So 0.1 whole square is going to give us 0.01. Then the h part, x square minus 1.4x. So let's simplify them. So let's simplify again. X square and the half of 1.4 is going to be 0.7. So 1.4. So we are going to add 0.7 square and we are going to subtract 0.7 square. So the three terms are making an identity, and the identity over here is the second one, which is making it as x minus 0.7 whole square minus, and the square of 0.7 is 0.49. So this is the end of question number 3 as well. Let's move on to question number 4. Fourth and the last question of this exercise. Again, you need to solve this question and find out the value of, you need to figure out the value for x. Let's do the A part, and we are going to try to do with the completing square method that we just did in the above question, so that things are more elaborated and easier for you. So A part is x square plus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, what was the first step? That the coefficient of x square should have a 1. It already has a 1. So x square plus 2x. And the second step is to add the half of the coefficient of x. So half of 2 is 1. So we are going to add 1 square. And we are going to subtract 1 square is equal to 0. So the first three terms are making an identity over here. So let's make they are making an identity over here. So it is x plus 1 whole square, and minus 1 square of 1 is 1, and minus 5 is equal to 0. We are going to collect the like terms on the other side. It is going to become x plus 1 whole square is equal to minus 6 on that side and plus 6 on this side. Now it's become similar to question number 2. So we are going to take the square root. X plus 1, taking the square root of 6, we are going to have it as 2.4494, and same thing with the negative sign. We are going to have it as negative 2.4494. So the value of x is going to be 2.94, 2.4494 minus 1, and minus 2.4494 minus 1. So the value of x is going to be 1.4494. We are definitely going to round it off to 2 decimal places, and from this side minus 3.4494. So if we round it off, the value, two answers of x are going to be 1.45. This is one value of x, and the other value of x is going to be minus 3.45. These are going to be the two values of x. So let's do another part. So you can apply completing the square method as well on the equations to find the value of x, not just the middle term breaking. But middle term breaking, yes, they have some limitations. They cannot be applied to every question. So x square plus 17x minus 30 is equal to 0. But the middle term breaking, they can be only be applied where you are not allowed to use a calculator. For example, in P1 of 4024. So x square, this is the question. This first step is already done. Let's move on to the second step. X square plus 17x. And we are going to add the half of the coefficient of x. So 17 by 2 whole square minus 17 by 2 whole square minus 30 is equal to 0. So these three terms, the first three terms are making an identity. So they are going to become x plus 17 over 2 whole square minus 17, the square of 17 is 289 over 4 minus 30 is equal to 0. So um, we are going to have x plus 17 over 2 whole square is equal to, um, we are going to add these two, we are going to take it to the other side. It is going to become 529 by 4. Again, square root on both sides. We are going to take the square root of these two, and x 17 by 2 is equal to um, 23 by 2, and x plus 17 by 2 gives us negative 23 by 2. So the value of x is going to be 23 by 2, negative 17 by 2, and the value minus 23 by 2 minus 17 by 2, collecting the like terms. So if we simplify um, these two, we are going to get as 3, and if we 23 and 17, it is going to give us as minus 20. Now the next is C part. Let's do the C part, and the C part is x square minus 12x plus 9 is equal to 0. Now again the same thing, x square minus 12x. So half of 12 is 6, so 6 square, and subtract 6 square plus 9 is equal to 0. The first three are going to make question easier for you. So it is going to become x minus 6 whole square minus 36 plus 9 is equal to 0. So from here, x minus 6 whole square is equal to 36 minus 9. That is going to give you 27. Now taking square root on both sides, so square root of 27 and x minus 6 is going to be left as it is. So plus 5.1961, and x minus 6 is equal to minus 5.1961. The value of x, the two values of x are going to be 11.20 for one side up to 2 decimal places, and for the other side it is going to be, we are going to subtract 6, so we will have the sign will be of the greater number, and we will be having plus 0.80. Now let's move on to the next part, part D. The D part is x square minus 5x minus 5 is equal to 0. Again, x square minus 5x. Now we are going to add the half of 5, that is 5 by 2 whole square, minus 5 over 2 whole square, minus 5 is equal to 0. Now the first three are making an identity, which is x minus 5 by 2 whole square minus 25 by 4 minus 5 is equal to 0. So the value of x minus 5 whole square is equal to, actually, it is going to be 11.25 added on the other side. So taking the square root of this number, we are going to have x minus 5 is equal to 3.3541 positive, as well as same thing in negative, minus 3.3541. So adding the negative 5 on the other side, we are going to have it as 8.85 up to 2 decimal places, and we are going to have x is equal to plus 1.65 onto the other side as the other value. This is the two possible answers of D part. The E part, F part, G part, and H part, these are very much similar, so we can try them on your own, so for a better understanding. I hope you like this video. Please like and share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.